Guys, what what I I genuinely don't know what to think right now. Like, I'm sorry, but what happened? What happened? It was 3-0 going into game 4, and now we're looking at game 7? What happened? Guys, like, what the heck? Okay, I'm not even gonna talk about the game like at all for a couple reasons. One, I don't really think we need to, but and two, and probably the more important one, I was only really able to watch the last 15 minutes of the game, so I only saw the two empty net goals. As of right now, the game is still going, and I have it going on my phone right now, and I'm watching it still as I'm recording this. But like, so if anything happens, I'll be able to live react to it essentially. But like, what happened? Like, where did Florida go? What happened to Bobrovsky? All of a sudden, you get shelled in one game. In game 4, you just get absolutely shelled. You just get crushed 8-1, and then what? You just don't want to play hockey anymore? Like, genuinely, what happened? What genuinely happened? I honestly don't even know. Like, this is actually crazy to me. Like, whoa, my gosh. On one hand, I'm like, this is crazy. This shouldn't have happened. Florida should have already won the cup by now, and we should be looking more towards, the off season now for anything. But on the other hand, now I'm going, we get game 7. That's super exciting. That's awesome. We get 7 games in the Stanley Cup final. That doesn't happen very often. And when it does, it's always super exciting. And we're looking at potentially getting the Stanley Cup back in Canada again for the first time since 1993. 1993. It's been 31 years since the Stanley Cup has been won by a Canadian team. And we're actually looking at it being possible now because Edmonton has been playing so well these past few games, and Florida has been playing quite poorly. Well, okay, that's not true. That's not entirely true. From what I've seen in the games, in the past few games that I saw, at least in the games that, the past 3 games of what I saw in game 6, in the last 15 minutes, the last period of game 5, and I guess really, I mean, game 4, I don't really want to count as a game, honestly, but from what I've seen, it just seems like Florida has just lost their mojo, right? You look back at game 1 and game 2, and even game 3, and it's kind of seemed like Florida was really just taking over and taking control and just pushing their advantages that they got and capitalizing on mistakes that the Oilers were making. And now, ever since the shelling that they received in game 4, it's almost like they've lost all their confidence. Bobrovsky has lost all of his confidence in being able to stop a puck. And, like, I mean, if the game tonight was close, I would be like, it could be anybody's game. And it's still, don't get me wrong, it still very well could be anybody's game on Monday. But also, like, the fact that this game is ending 5-1 after the last game being 4-3, I think. I think the last game was 4-3. Let me see here. 5-3. 5-3. They did get the empty net. So looking back at all these games, right? Game 1 was 3-0 for the Panthers. Game 2 was 4-1 for the Panthers. Game 3 was 4-3 for the Panthers. And then you get the 8-1 for the Oilers, 5-3 for the Oilers, 5-1 for the Oilers, which is today. And now we have game 7 on Monday. Like, what in the world has happened to Florida? Like, I honestly, I would want to be able to sit here and say who I think is going to win game 7, but I don't think I can. I honestly don't think I can. It does look more and more likely that it's going to be Edmonton, but it very well could be Florida still. I don't know. I honestly don't even know. It's possible it could be anybody. Honestly, it could be either Florida or Edmonton. One of the two teams. It could be either of them. Comes down to one game left. Game 7 on Monday. It's going to be a very exciting game. I will be able to watch the whole thing, so I will be able to do a breakdown of game 7 on Monday, which I'm actually kind of happy about, and finally being able to get back in and watch the full game. But, you know, life happens, and sometimes you can't watch everything that you want to. But, wow. Just wow. And you know what? I will go back and I will say exactly what I said at the start of the video 100 times. What in the world is happening in the Stanley Cup Finals? It's just crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me that this is happening. Well, it all comes down to game 7. Monday, 8 p.m. my time because I'm on the East Coast, so 8 p.m. Eastern. And somebody's lifting the Stanley Cup. Will Florida be able to beat the jitters that seems to have haunted them for the past 3 games? Or will Edmonton complete the reverse sweep? Holy cow. Exciting things. Exciting things. All right. Well, that's going to be it for this little rant that I have here. So, game 7. Here we come.